반짝이는 눈빛 눈이 부셔 매일 날 감싸주는 손길.
Guhana, having left Unchong at Hwang Jin Goo's house, finds herself constantly rushing to see Unchong whenever she has a moment. Despite Hana's concern, Unchong is happily enjoying himself and doesn't seem to notice the time passing. He's having so much fun playing with Yali that he barely registered Hana's worries. Hana, relieved that Unchong is adjusting well, breathes a sigh of relief. As Hana visits Hwang Jin Goo's house more frequently, she and Jin Goo naturally become closer and engage in more conversations. Jin Goo had once shown Hana a video from his childhood, and now he's likely to show her an album filled with old childhood photos of himself. Among these, there are pictures of him with Eugene and also with Yoon Se-young. When Hana sees a childhood picture of Yoon Se-young, she's taken aback. Jin Goo notices her surprise and asks if something in the photo scared her. Hana pauses before explaining that seeing Yoon Se-young's face reminds her of something from her own past. She starts to doubt herself, wondering if she is mistaken, but then becomes certain that the child in the picture is someone she remembers clearly. Hana goes on to recall an incident from before she met the chairman. She used to live in a seaside town, and one day two girls around her age were walking toward the boat. She watched them without thinking much, but after some time, only one of the girls came out of the boat. To her shock, it was Eugene. Despite having boarded the boat together, only Yoon Se-young got off, and soon after, a man arrived looking for the other child who hadn't gotten off the boat. Yoon Se-young never told him that Eugene was still on board, and the frantic father was searching for her, pale with worry. Hana was about to tell him that Eugene was inside the boat, but just then, her foster father appeared and dragged her away, preventing her from speaking. Jin Goo is shocked as Hana reveals that the child still on the boat was Unchong's mother, Eugene. He already knew that Yoon Se-young was a bad person, but he is furious at how she kept such a critical secret. He insists that the chairman needs to know this truth, and though Hana considers asking Jin Goo to relay the information, she ultimately decides it's best for her to tell him directly. Hana calls Shin Yeojin, who becomes stiff with tension as soon as she answers the phone. She is clearly frustrated, wondering if there's more to argue about. However, Hana's voice shakes with an ease as she explains that she has something important to tell her about Yoon Se-young related to Eugene. Shin Yeojin immediately heads out to meet Hana, who recounts the entire story. Shin Yeojin is overcome with shock and grief. She repeatedly asks Hana to confirm the details of what happened, struggling to process the devastating information. After hearing Hana's account, Shin Yeojin feels a crushing sense of guilt and anger. If only Yoon Se-young had spoken up and told Eugene's father that she was still inside the boat, they might have been able to save her. Instead, both Yoon Se-young and her mother push her into a nightmare, and Shin Yeojin feels betrayed by them both. Things take a darker turn when Shin Yeojin hears news of Yoon Se-young embezzling a large sum of money. Her anger explodes as she wonders where the money went, and in her rage, she throws all of Yoon Se-young's clothes out of her closet. Just as she's foaming, Choi Myung-ji bursts in, frantic and anxious, telling Shin Yeojin that Yoon Se-young has been arrested and taken to the police station in handcuffs. Choi Myung-ji desperately asks for Shin Yeojin's help to get Yoon Se-young out, but Shin Yeojin snaps back, telling her that before asking for help, Choi Myung-ji should apologize for embezzling 1 billion won. Choi Myung-ji, unable to contain her frustration, tries to shift the conversation to her own distress about her niece's situation, making the situation even worse. Finally, Shin Yeojin, pushed to her breaking point, slaps Choi Myung-ji hard across the face, marking the end of her patience. This time, her anger is real and she's not holding back.
'Cause you are